Sky Squad, we are back in the building and we got to talk Real Housewives of Atlanta season 15, episode 1, baby. Or also known as Watch Me Date These Dumb Dudes of Atlanta or Huntsville, according to Kenya Moore. Y'all, we got to talk about it. The shade is starting nice and early, just what we like to see. They don't waste no time in this episode. I'm going to go ahead and give y'all my rating on a scale of 1 to 10 right now. And for me, I got to tell you, for me, he, him, it is going to be a 10 across the board. This is how you bring the ladies back after such a lengthy hiatus, okay? This is how you do it. If you're gonna listen, I'm gonna tell you something. If y'all gonna maximize Martell, okay? Let's not play no games. Let's not waste no time. Let's go ahead and get on and down with the get down, all right? So let's get into the episode. Well, why did I give it a 10 out of 10? I felt like it was firing on all cylinders. I felt like true to what we were promised, we got a lot of Martell and Sheree. We did get this huge blow up with Kandi. We got some comedy, we got some shade, and a reintroduction to everybody but Drew, okay? Because if you will notice, there was not a hair, nor peep, nor hide of Drew Sidora, only her man, Ralph, okay? So I guess we could take that as consolation or some foreshadowing as to what's to come, all right? But we're going to talk about that when we get to it. Let's go ahead and stage dive into what we got to talk about. So we get a nice little primer for the episode, for the drama that's going to come at the end of the episode. We get that right in the beginning. So they're letting us know right from the jump, the party's going to really get started. And it sure enough does. But we ease into all of this, taking things back about 4 days ago. And of course, we get the scene with Martell, stopping by Sheree's house after the Upscale magazine shoot. And it was interesting to me, and I think I might have said this earlier, that we didn't see this Upscale magazine shoot. Really, we didn't see much of it on Huntsville. I guess maybe it's still going to come up in the episodes, but we're definitely seeing it on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And for those of you guys who don't watch Love and Marriage Huntsville, I don't know why you must be living under a rock, okay? But you guys will know that that's going to be something that's coming up. And I think when they celebrate the launch of that, we will actually see that episode on Love and Marriage Huntsville, along with Sheree getting into some drama with Tiffany Whitlow, another cast member from Love and Marriage Huntsville. But I digression. We got to talk about Sheree. So Martell gets there and he's all like, what you looking this good for? And so, Sheree brings him in and says, oh, I got a surprise for you or whatever. Now, is it me? Is it just me, or did he not really seem all that grateful for the chef surprise? You know what I'm saying? Because Sheree had done a whole nice little chef thing. The chef is going to come and fix the food. And, when he get to talking about it, he was like, I thought it was going to be something good. I mean, you don't want to eat? Okay. Is that what you're telling me? What? I'm like, if my bae, okay, because they do describe him as Sheree's boyfriend, and if you don't believe it, here is the proof.
What you doing looking as good for?
Now y'all see at the bottom of the screen, it read Sheree's boyfriend, her man, okay? And in the episode, they also tell us that they are officially dating, okay? Now, they may have been officially dating back then or officially taking photos for TMZ back then, but today, let them tell it, they just friends, okay? Now, they're grown folks, they can do what they want to do, but I'm just trying to tell you, if y'all selling me, okay, if you selling me meats, all right, which I just started eating the vegetarian, okay, and I ain't going to, that's a whole different topic, okay, because I'm having to make some difficult choices in my life, no more bacon, but anyway, and you can tell I'm a little upset about it, but anyway, if you promising me bacon, okay, and then when I get to the table and you feeding me some string beans, some lima beans, I'm gonna be mad because I'm expecting some bacon. All right. So I just feel like y'all need to figure out what this story is gonna be for continuity's sake, and then live in it, roll in it. I mean, act accordingly. Go all the way with it. Stick the landing. You know what I'm saying? But I don't feel like they sticking the landing. They ain't barely making a touchdown. They're not even doing a punt, okay, at this point, because the story, it seems so all over the place. I digress. Let me go back, okay? So he got to go change his clothes. Sheree let us know that she's not necessarily in love, but she's open to love. And you know that he got that BDE energy, that BD energy. Okay. I'm gonna fill in the blanks for y'all. No, actually, no, I'm not, because this is a YouTube and this is a family show. So you guys can you know what it means, okay? So anyway, they chat about, you know, Sanya, Richie, Rossi, birthday party for Rossi or whatever, and you know, they get to talking about who all gonna be there. And of course, I told you guys my theory on this, or my perspective on, I need to know who all gonna be there before I even go. But anyway, it ain't about me right now, it's about them. So, you know, she get to saying, oh, well, yeah, you know, the Kandi is going to be there, you know, especially after all them things she's been saying about you. And we get that little flashback of her talking on the radio about, you know, the possibility that he could be using her for a come up. Okay. And so, you know, he get to saying, well, opportunist is who her husband is. Okay. And I'm like, oh, you calling Todd an opportunist? Oh, no, player. Oh, no, player. I don't know how that's gonna work out for you, because Kandi got the streets. Kandi got her ear to the streets, and she know about the things, okay? And apparently she know about somebody that Martell is allegedly also seeing in the Atlanta area. Let me put the badge up here. Allegedly, okay? Allegedly. Allegedly, there's somebody else outside of Sheree who he may or may not be boyfriend and girlfriend with, dating, coating, friends and family discount. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But he apparently in and up out of Atlanta, okay? In and up out of the Atlanta area, and doing the whoop-de-woo and the hoot-ha, according to Kandi, in the streets, all right? Not only Kandi, but also Monyetta. But we gonna get there when we get there, okay? So anyway, they end up talking about, you know, he asked about Kenya. Is Kenya gonna be there? Now, why was you so interested in her? Now, that's making me think back on it now. Okay, why are you so interested in her? And he's like, and you know, Sheree's like, yeah, you know, she always asking about you, you know, player. She always want to know how you doing, who you be with, and stuff like that. And then he's like, well, you know, I ain't even done it like that, or nothing like that before, but you was definitely up in her DMs, allegedly. Again, okay, because we ain't get the screenshot like I thought we was gonna get that screenshot, okay, but we did get a good look into that phone, and we'll talk about it when we get to it. All right. So anyway, Dawn, Juan, and Carmen are meeting over at the Kandi factory. So the Kandi Cody clique is back together again. All right. So they joke about Sheree and her she by Sheree launch. Okay. And shout out to Aaron from House of Aaron for narrating that scene. And basically, he told nothing but the truth about how when we all went to shebysheree.com, shebysheree.net, shebysheree.org, shebysheree.io, we ain't see no fashions, okay? We ain't seen not a fashion that we supposed to have seen from that fashion show. We ain't seen none of that, okay? And so Sheree, in her own confessional, lets us know, well, I mean, she should be so blessed to have so many people going to that site that it got shut down. That was the reason why. Okay. We made it crash. It was our fault. Okay, boo, I got you. Let's roll with that. Let's rock with it, roll with it, lean with it, rock with it. I got you, Sheree. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it, 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 do it. So anyway, Kandi let them know, like, yeah, we tried to help old girl out, but you know, Sheree, she got the people and she don't need no help from nobody else, okay? And apparently she ain't to pay the people. That's what Kandi said. And actually, Drew said that last season, but you know, that seems to be a running theme about her not paying the people. And again, I point down to that badge right there, allegedly, because I don't know what, you know, she living large, okay? She living large. So anyway, you know, we get a little note from Kandi about how she's working so much and Ace is missing her or whatever. And I feel like that's going to be used against her at some point in time in the future. So I hate that she said that right there, because I know it's going to get thrown back in her face. Anyway, Kenya arrives along with Monyetta, okay? Kandi's still a little bit annoyed with Monyetta for not, you know, for kind of like not having her back, she felt like, with Marlo last season. But, you know, Monyetta is like, yeah, I'm trying to get back in the, you know, into the good spot or whatever. We also learned that Kenya has been seeing one of Monyetta's friends named Roy, which we did talk about in a previous video, okay? So This man is apparently the restaurateur type or whatever, and she been spending her time and being wined and dined by this man. So she is ecstatic and over the moon right now. Anyway, Kenya does reveal that she was disappointed with Kandi and Sheree because they could not seem to get along at the reunion. Okay. You know, they reflect on Kandi spoofing Sheree about, Kandi using Sheree to make a headline because, she says she is that good clickbait. And if you don't believe me, ask TMZ. So anyway, Kenya says, well, they get to talking about Martell and, whether or not she going to bring Martell to the party. And the streets, according to Kandi and Manetta, have been talking about Martell being, cheating on Sheree allegedly with somebody else or some other people, whoever. I don't know how many people. I don't know how many girls it is. Okay. Maybe as many as can fit in a car. I have no idea. But again, I point you down to the badge that says allegedly underneath my book promo right here in case you guys missed it and did not see it all because it's all up in your grill. Make sure you go and download, purchase, and all that stuff like that and listen to it and leave a review. Now, anyway, so Kenya then lets us know that he lightweight tried to talk to her. Now we got to get into the semantics of all this. When you say lightweight tried to talk to me, well, if you tell me somebody tried to talk to you, then that means that they was trying to get your digits, that you got some verified proof that in the writing that they was trying to get with you. It's some video out there letting us know that he was trying to get with you. We need some type of I need some type of proof. Because what we're going to see later, don't give me the proof that I feel like I need, but I do feel like Kenya is credible. You know what I'm saying? If I had to take a guess, I want you guys to chime down in the chatterization. Who's more credible? Because I think that's sometimes what we got to look at when we think about who we believe and who we don't believe. Do you guys feel like Kenya is more credible or do you guys feel like Martell is more credible? Chime down in the chatterization, especially for those of you who do not watch Love and Marriage Huntsville. I am so interested in finding out what you guys think because that's going to be a kiki when I read those comments. Meanwhile, Kandi's like, well, girl, pull up the DMs. And I'm thinking, girl, pull up the DMs. You know what I'm saying? But she does not pull out. Oh, actually, she does pull out the DMs. Okay. Apparently, she never responded to him. Either that or she deleted the message. Okay. But apparently he deleted his message because it shows now that she never even accepted him. So she could not have responded. She could have just seen his message. But when she pull up his name, ain't nothing there. So she got to accept it if she want to have any communication with him in return, right? I think that's the way it worked. And so, and I should know this, but it's the DMs. That stuff be changing all the time, but y'all know what I'm talking about. So anyway, ain't nothing there. Ain't no messages, ain't no receipts, ain't no proof, right? So the thought is that he went back and deleted those messages or whatever. But anyway, for Kenya, she won't trying to talk to him no way because she says that anybody that get within 10 feet of him end up getting preggers, okay? And then in her confessional, she shades Sheree and says that, well, Sheree ain't got to worry about that because she's not getting the period, exclamation point, question mark, hyphen, or a comma, okay? That's what she say. Again, allegedly, I've never heard Sheree say that. So again, I say allegedly, but you guys let me know what you think down in the comment section down below because we did get I thought we got it. If you watch Love and Marriage Huntsville, I could have swore Martell said that he and Sheree had talked about having some kids, okay? When asked by Maurice when he was in that scene with Marceau and Maurice, and I could have swore he said that they had conversations and Sheree said she want more kids. So you guys figure that out on your own because I'm not going to do that math. So anyway, because there's lots of way you can have kids in however you want to have them. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I mean. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to, I feel like, when we talking about women's reproductive stuff, I don't know when the cutoff is for each individual woman. So you guys can let us know in the chatterization what your experiences are, but I just don't feel like it's my place to provide commentary on it because I just don't know. Meanwhile, they call him a thirst trap, essentially. And so Kenya then asked, well, girl, Kandi, why was you and Todd arguing the other day when I was on the phone with you? Okay. So we get to apparently, Todd is writing the movies. Okay, he apparently has written more than one. So he's working on this movie, and he needed Kandi to come to the table read. Now, Kandi had an interview at 11. The table read was supposed to be at 11. Now, the gist of this whole thing is that Todd feels like Kandi don't support him the way he support her. But she got things to do. She got things to do, people to see, places to go, things, spoofs to make, and all kinds of things that she's got going on. And so at the end of the day, he ended up having to move that table read. Even after she had asked him to move it, he ended up moving it because the people needed the table read to be moved. So she get to crying, she upset, and she feel like he just using it as an excuse to be mad at her and making her the bad guy and all kinds of things like that. And she just get to crying and crying. And I feel right bad for her because I'm like, at the end of the day, she got to be out here making that coin. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to listen. They got to be making that coin. They got to figure out something to do. And let me say this. Let me say this because I feel like it needs to be said. And I know some people are going to disagree with me about this, but Kenya also gives her some sage advice. Kenya says you need to find time to make for your husband. And that goes with any relationship, right? You and your partner are not going to be able to do everything that y'all want to do all the time at the same time. It is like playing football, right? And please don't ask me how I know this because I was forced to play when I was younger, okay? It's like playing football or probably any sport. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't run all these plays at the same time because you are going to expend the energy of the team and you're going to be shifting the focus of the team. And you guys are a married couple at this point in time. So at a certain point in time, everybody can't be doing all the big things because otherwise it's going to create some issues and it could create some resentment when one person feels like they're doing more than the other, right? It's bound to happen. So at a certain point in time, it's got to be a situation where, okay, babe, you right now for this month or two, you're going to have the run with it because I know that I'm done with press for this show. I'm done with the tour for this show. I'm done with that. So we're going to focus on what you need to do for this month or this week or this day or whatever like that, right? It's got to be some type of in-between way that y'all can make that whole situation work because, again, you cannot run but so many plays at the same time, right? Usually just the one. Right? For most teams, they run into one play and they focus in on that. That is something I've definitely had to learn over these past couple of months. Let me tell you something. And I learned it it was to my detriment that I had to learn it, but I definitely learned it. It's just even for yourself. You can't run but so many plays at the same time. And sometimes you need to focus in and you need to hone in and focus on that one thing before you take off and do all these other things because otherwise it's going to make you unhappy and it's definitely going to make the people around you unhappy. So can somebody hear me out there? Sanya Richie Ross' house is packed. It's jam-packed. It's a club at Sanya's house. Okay. It's a line to get into the house. The line is wrapped around the block. Okay. You got to wait an hour or two before you get into Sanya's house because there's that many people up in there. So she got all the people there, all the family members, and essentially, she's excited about this party, but she's been hired her brother-in-law as her assistant because he's not, he's trying to get into the real estate game there, more power to you, brother. And he's trying to do his thing, right? But until he get that jumping off, he got to go and work for Sanya, because got to make ends meet. The rent is always due, but I don't know how much rent he paying because he's going to be living at Sanya's house. So maybe the rent ain't due on the first of the month. The rent could be due on the 15th based on how they could be working things out. I don't know. But what I'm saying to you is this. They got complaints. Her sister got complaints because Sanya apparently don't have no boundaries. All right. But for her, Sanya, she feel like, well, I keep employing all these people in my family because my career is popping. You know what I'm saying? So they complaining about not having any boundaries, but she feel like, y'all living off my success to a certain degree. Right. It is what it is. Everybody can't be the star, just like everybody can't be the quarterback. Right. Everybody can't do everything. Everybody can't play every position. Certain people at certain point in time, you got to play a different position than you might be wanting to play, right? So at that point in time, y'all need to figure out how to make that business thing work and what the business hours are. All right, period. Can you spend some time with baby Brooklyn, who is just adorable? Just growing up, man, just growing up. Anyway, Kandi is speaking of the kids, Kandi's at her home with her adorable kids. And Todd is over there. Todd is working, okay? But Kandi says it's dinner time. and it's time for you to focus on dinner, not work. So Todd is over there trying to get this thing done, and again, we running multiple plays at the same time. Kandi is upset because she is like, this man is not giving me the attention that I want right now, and these kids are up in here and they're trying to eat, and I cannot do everything on my own. Meanwhile, Todd is like, oh yeah, put that line right there. We're gonna say this right here. Okay, yep. All right. Meanwhile, my question to them is, and I don't know, this ain't really none of my business, but I definitely would be interested in knowing. Maybe y'all, do they have a nanny or anything like that? I mean, sometimes I feel like you might need somebody else there, and like even when you there, okay? Because it seems like it's so much going on that maybe having an extra set of eyes, ears, hands, and legs or something like that could be a good idea, even while you at home. Maybe have somebody else, do the work, cook the food and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe have somebody do all that stuff like that. So anyway, Marlo is being Monty Marlo at her house with the boys. She gotta have the Sharon, Miss Sharon comes over. Now, Miss Sharon, for those of you guys that don't know, is the life coach, and they're gonna be working with Miss Marlo and the boys on gentle parenting and communication, because she's still reeling from when she didn't gave them boys up, for 30 days for last season, right? She's still smarting from that. So anyway, fast forward, the next scene is Sanya stops by Sheree's as she's in her Sheba Sheree two-piece set, baby. Yes, come on through, Sheree, with this two-piece on. Let me know in the chatterization if y'all done reach down into that website and pick you up a two-piece like this, only for $274, all right? $274 will get you more, all right? Get into it. So they stopped by to have a little workout going on and things like that. And then, Courtney stops by, and she got to, drop it like it's hot on her thigh highs and, prove that she can work out too, even in them heels. And turns out, Courtney is a friend of Sheree. She's going to be the new friend to the show. And, they get to talking about the party and everything like that. And, Courtney, she does know Kandi from social situations, but somebody told her that Kandi told them that apparently Courtney was running around saying she know Kandi. Okay. And Kandi is so worldwide. Like, why she worried about little Courtney? Why she want to know what her Instagram is and whatnot and things like that? Sheree says Kandi has a lot of time on her hands now because she has time to talk about her and do spoofs about her. And the only time Kandi is not talking about people is when she's eating or chomping on the D. All right. So then they ask if, is it Martell that's giving you this glow, Sheree? I mean, because you glowing, girl. You got that glow. It could be some baby oil on the face. Sheree says that they haven't put a label on anything, but they want to be intentional about their dating, their friendship, the TMZ calls and whatnot. So anyway, Sanya and her mama go check out the Sanya. They go check out the venue, and we learned that Sanya spent $100,000 on this party. Now the budget was $40,000, and now it's $100,000. $100,000 on a party. I mean, listen, we used to complain about these housewives coming on these shows and then not being rich, right? I do want to see $100,000 parties, but dang, that's a lot of money. That's a whole lot of money. The last time I saw somebody say they spent $80,000, anywhere near $100,000 on a party, it was Jen Shaw. I ain't gonna say nothing else. Okay. But Sanya Richie Rossi is the athlete. Okay. So she got the coin. She is successful in her own right, and the man got a business. So I mean, $100,000. What's that? What's that? What is that? She says, whatever it takes. I said, yes, whatever it takes to make sure your stuff is fabulous on the show so you can be invited back another season. So Kandi and Todd are getting dressed, but Kandi tells Todd not to wear that pimp hat unless he wants to have Marlo come to him looking for a job, Shade. And so anyway, Marlo meets with the Rico Chappelle. Hey, Rico. And they talk about Kandi's latest spoof. And Marlo says that, Kandi should probably stick to the spoofs because she does think that they funny, because clearly the Broadway ain't working and clearly the singing ain't working. And I was like, Marlo, I don't know if you didn't check the news lately or anything like that, but it looks to me like Miss Kandi Burruss is Emmy nominated, Tony nominated, so look like the Broadway thing working. And then she's also on the tour and had the SWV and Escape show, so look like the singing thing working too. So I don't know, Miss Mama. Apparently, all the things that she's working on are working. So you're gonna have to come up with a new piece of shade. You know what I'm saying? Just something new. You know what I mean? Just a little something new. Come try it again. Let's go back to the drawing board. We'll get you some new reads and stuff like that, because I know you got it in you. We done fought for you to get here, so you're gonna have to step it up. But I did like something she did in the next scene. I like Marlo. I think Marlo's great for the show because she gonna cause some chaos. All right, and she's shady and she's fun and she's fashionable. So all the things we like. Anyway, the night of the party. I noticed we haven't seen Drew at all this episode, which is interesting to me. Kenya arrives and is keeping her expectations low because, you know, Sanya Richie Rossi last party was definitely not $100,000. It might have been 100, but it won't have 100,000. So anyway, Kenya arrives with her girlfriend Akila. Ralph arrives and tells the people that, you know, well, Drew can't make it because, you know, she got the family emergency and she's sick and she's got singing engagement and she's got to go get her hair done, nails did. She got to go get a Brazilian wax. There's things happening. She's got to go sing the national anthem somewhere, which she has been singing the national anthem in quite a few places. And so she got things to do. And everybody's looking like, okay. He says that she has a family crisis, but Kenya in her confessional says that Drew is the crisis. All right. Drew does seem a little bit like a crisis, like a little walking bit of drama. You know what I'm saying? At least on this show, right? So anyway, Kenny and Todd arrive, followed by Marlo, then Courtney, and Marlo is trying to stay quiet. Marlo's gonna stay quiet as a church mouse and just eavesdrop. Okay, Marlo, I don't blame you. Stay out of trouble. Ain't that Anila husband right there? Is it not, or is it just me? I think it is. Okay. Hey, Anila husband. So anyway, Sheree then arrives with Martell, and randomly we find out that Courtney and Ralph are cousins. Who knew? So Sanya and Rossi make their grand entrance, and it's time to party. So Kenya and Kandi throw mad shade at Martell. Kandi says last year Sheree was dating Mr. Community Service, and this year she's dating Mr. Community Property. I thought she was gonna say Community D, but again, that is allegedly. Y'all read the commentary. It says allegedly. I don't know that to be true. The man could just be popular. So anyway, Sheree ain't got much to say to Kandi because she still don't like her. And so Kenya asks if it's official between Sheree and Martell. And, you know, she's like, yes, it's official. And, well, Martell says, yes, they're dating. Excuse me. Sheree wants Kenya to worry less about her and more about whether or not Mark will take more manner in the divorce settlement, which ain't gonna never happen. And then perhaps even add some baseboards to the house. I was like, that was a real deep piece of shade there, Sheree, for the question that she asked her. So anyway, Kenya then shades her because now these are all in their confessional and says basically that Sheree's life is basically an episode of Watch Me Date These Dumb Dudes. Okay. Because Sheree don't have the best history with dating. I honestly think Sheree probably needs somebody like a matchmaker, a professional matchmaker. You know what I'm saying? Take them coins that Sanya then threw into this party, take a $10,000 off. You know what I'm saying? She can do away with them gates. Hand that over to Sheree, give her to the millionaire matchmaker, and let her find somebody that I feel like we would at least believe that they dating. Okay. And there you have it. I've solved all the problems in the world right now. So anyway, Marlo chats with Courtney about Kandi because Sanya spilled the tea. And so Courtney recaps the story. Now, apparently the person that told Courtney that Kandi was asking about her name is Dina. All right. And she's also friends with Kandi. So Marlo tells her, girl, you better talk to her about it. So Kandi knows another person in Atlanta that Martell was allegedly been kicking it with. So the girls are worried about, if Sheree knows or not. So Kenya takes Sheree off to the side for a ponderosa, but as she's trying to get her off to the side, Martell is like, y'all trying to have a sidebar conversation. And I felt like, it's getting real thirsty for the camera. But that was just, it could have just been me. You know what I'm saying? It could have just been me, and I could be being judgmental, and you can call me out if I'm being judgmental, but that's what it gave. Like looking for the camera. Where the camera at? So anyway, She pulls Sheree over to, have a conversation with Monyetta and Sheree about, Martell and the things that they didn't heard, the things that her and Kandi heard, that he was dating somebody else in Atlanta. Now, Sheree is like, Monyetta ain't have 5 words to say last year, and all of a sudden, she's the mouth of the South. But according to Sheree, she is a Ferrari, baby, and anybody else is just a Toyota Corolla, all right, a Kia, or whatever else it is out there. And if he want to date around on her, then he can definitely do that. Well, all I would say is, Sheree, I can't judge everybody by their past, but if he could do it to Melody, who I would probably say is also in that same category of Ferrari or whatnot, then he could probably do it to you. So anyway, Courtney gets introduced to Kandi via Sanya. And I kind of feel like this is a little bit of a setup, and I kind of feel like Kandi knew, okay? And let me tell you why, because we're going to go through the faces of Kandi. Oh, yes, the many faces of Kandi throughout this conversation. All right, so Kandi acknowledges that, I think we've seen each other before. So Courtney then brings up Dina, who asked her if she was telling people that she and Kandi are friends. Kandi says, well, somebody asked her if she knows Courtney, and she said, I don't know Courtney. So Kandi then tells her tells us in the confessional that her friend Dina and Courtney are doing some business together, but she doesn't really know Courtney and doesn't know anyone else who knows Courtney. But maybe Dina knows Courtney. Somebody know Courtney, okay? Because somehow this story getting out there. So maybe we need to go back to Dina. So anyway, Courtney seems kind of at least to Kandi, a little bit amped up. All right. So Candy's like, well, where's this energy coming from? This crazy energy. So you can actually see Marlo off to the side, eavesdropping on the conversation, just staying quiet as a church mouse, which I thought was hilarious. All right. So then Courtney is still upset, all right, because of what she heard Kandi say from Dina. So Kandi is like, I didn't know who you were. I saw the picture of you and Dina. I knew Dina. I didn't know you. And the truth is, I don't know you. So Courtney is like, well, I don't know you either. Well, all I know is Marlo is getting all this tea in the background, right? So at that point, Kandi tells her, what I'm saying to you is bag back. Now, y'all remember Kandi from season 2? You better bag back. No, what was that episode that Nene was mocking? She was talking about Kandi saying, you better bag back. You better bag back. No, I think it was season 6 after the pillow talk party. You better bag back. You better bag back. So anyway, at this point, you can see the smile on Candy's face because I think that she realizes, oh, this is a scene. This is a scene that this girl is creating. But personally, I also feel like Kandi is also so fed up with things that are also going on, maybe with her group, as well as the stuff with Todd, that her fuse, as she has told us plenty of time in interviews, is short, okay? It is mad short. So Sanya tries to interject, and at this point, again, you can see Kandi kind of giving her a side eye, like, girl, you set me up in this conversation. Because when you go back and you look at it, Sanya did say, do y'all know each other or something like that when they, or y'all know each other or something like that when she brought them together. So it felt to me like that smile of Candy's right here was that slow realization that, oh, I've been set up. Okay. So at that point in time, Courtney apologizes to Sanya, I think, because she says, thank you for checking me, but my feelings were hurt and I don't have to clout chase. Okay. So when she says it, now let me give you this. When she says it, she's doing this. I don't have to clout chase. Okay. And so at that point, Candy's like, there you go, bouncing again. And at that point, Candy's like, I never said you was clout chasing. So at this point, again, you could tell Kandi is about to lose it. All right. Kandi is about to lose it. So at that point, that's when Kandi says, you just bounced at me. And Courtney's like, well, let's bring it on down. So then Kandi says, well, stop bouncing at me. And Courtney tells her to calm the F down. And at that point, it's all types of bees. And Candy's like, I'm about to headbutt this beat. And so simultaneously, while that conversation is going on, Candy's about to wild out on Courtney. And so across the room, you got this conversation that's going on with Kenya and Sheree and Monyetta, because Kenya now needs to tell Sheree that Martell has slid in her DMs before. So Sheree says, well, let me see it, honey. And I would be too. No shade. I would be like, let me see the receipts. Give me the DMs. Show it to me. Better yet, Sheree got one better for us. Sheree says, you know what? He's right over there. pretty much looking for that camera. So she's like, come on over here, bae. Come on over here, play bae. That's when I'm gonna start calling him play bae. Okay, come on over here, play bae. And so why don't you tell him what you're telling me right now? Okay. And so at that point, we get flashes of the next episode. So it is to be continued. I do feel like I was tricked, and I did feel like we was going to get all of that in this first episode. I do feel like it should have been an hour and 15 minutes, so we could have got all that, but they cut us off and they're making us wait for next week. We kind of already know the things that she's going to say to him. So I felt like they could have gone ahead and showed us that because they've given it to us in the previews. But whatever, we got a to be continued. Also, this video right here would not cover any news, speak on it, or lives anybody does after the episode. Strictly the episode. Let me know what y'all think in the chatterization down below, and I will catch y'all in the next.